some fuck with my piece. Yeah, please some fuck with that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another amazing episode with the Certified Vets. I'm one of your co-hosts, T. To my left, I have
Riley.
And as always, you have Duke De Niro.
You got John on the tech side.
And we'd love to thank you guys for tuning in, commenting, following, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff to our social platforms and supporting the cause for the Certified Vets. So, another one, guys. What we going to be talking about today? Duke, what we talking about today, man?
So this thing with Jeannie Mai about being submissive to her.
Jeannie Mai.
Jeannie Mai. We'll say Jeannie Mai.
Jeannie Mai, yeah, that's right, Jeannie Mai. She was just basically talking about being submissive for her man. And you know how some people take to that word submissive.
Some people, or you mean a lot of people?
I don't want to generalize, but yeah, you could say a lot then.
Well, I'm not going to generalize and say everybody, but I'll say...
A majority.
Yeah, majority.
I'll say in the black community, I think the word submit or submissive or submitting when it comes to black women is like, whoa, like a curse word. Or it's like hearing a white person say the N word to you. It's like offensive to them, right?
Right. I think it's because they misinterpret it basically because... they misinterpret the actual meaning because they look at it from the formal context of it, meaning, you're being passive, you're conforming, or, you're just being docile.
Well, hold on. Before we even get into this topic, let's actually listen to what she said.
Okay.
And then we could go from there.
All right, let's play it up.
So I'm going to say right here that Jeannie Mai, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. Let me explain. When I hear this definition, like you just said, Adrian, submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you are less important, you are lower than that person that you're submitting to. It usually can be referenced as somebody who works lower than you, and that's not what I'm referring to here.
Yeah,
but what I really learned in my life for my definition of marriage, I'm not saying what I want works for everybody, I'm saying for me, I'm a very dominant woman. I own my business.
All right, we don't need to hear the rest of that.
Yeah. So we kind of got the
hater.
Yeah. So we kind of got the gist of it, right? And on social media, this was kind of floating around, and you had a mix kind of feel from both men and women, right, of all races on the submitting and all that other stuff. So my question is to you guys: how do you guys take the word a wife to submit? How do you guys take it? Let's start off with you, John. What do you have to say on that side?
What's my take on the whole thing? Well, see, man, like me, I'm a biblical man. I live by the biblical principles. And in the Bible, it shows that there's an order. There's an order to life. And first is God, Christ, and then the man, and then the woman. So there's a hierarchy structure. So the concept of, a man or a woman submitting to a man is not something that's foreign to me. It's actually something that's a big foundation in my life,
Yeah.
So, I agree everything what she's saying in terms of, why submitting to a man.
Now, what do you have to say because I know with the other chick on this show, Adrian Bailon.
Yeah, whatever her name
So she brought up the Bible. She was saying that, in the Bible, they used to say that kind of like the man would lead, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, the Bible always also says something about, you got to stone people because of X, Y reasons. So should we be following the Bible? And when it comes to these type of situations with marriage, because they said women are progressing, now where we fought so much to be equal, why do we have to take a back role
and submit?
Exactly. Why can it be 50-50?
Well, let's look at every country. Let's look at every corporation, like successful country, successful corporation. To every successful organization, there's a structure. There's a president and a vice president. There's the area manager, and then the store manager. You understand? So every single organization or nation has a structure, and it's successful. When it comes to the family now, how are we gonna have it as a free for all? 50-50.
Yeah.
Something that's so important when there's generations, like you have grandchildren, grandparents, and what, etc. Right? There should be some kind of order and structure when it comes to the family. And if you look at every other nation, like for example the Indies, if you look at the Sikhs, if you talk to a Sikh, their family structure goes all the way back to India, where they respect if there's commands that come from back to Sikh temple back in India or whatever the case is, boom, the people them in Canada are respecting the orders that are given.
Right.
You know, but it's just something when it comes to black people. Oh no, 50-50, free for all. Let's do whatever we want.
Right.
You know?
Right. So it's safe to say in your marriage, because you're the only one that's married amongst us, it's safe to say you lead your household. You're the head of your household.
Right. No, not the head of the household.
Oh.
The head of my wife.
Or the head of your wife. Because, God would be the head of the household. And then, is that how it works?
Listen,
Sorry.
the correct term is the husband is the head of the wife. Not the head of the household.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's what it is. The wife submits to the husband. The wife doesn't submit to the house. You know?
Oh, okay. I see what
Oh,
you're
okay. I
saying.
hear
Yeah,
you
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It's
okay.
to the union, not to the house.
Right.
Gotcha,
'Cause the house.
gotcha,
Okay.
gotcha.
So just hearing you speak, right? And I'm a logical guy. I really look into things. I don't really get emotionally, attached to conversations and wordplay and stuff like that. But when you hear the word like, I'm the head of my wife, she has to submit to me and whatever the case may be. Do you think that's how it's
Framed.
the way it's framed is why women don't like that word? Like, you see what I'm saying? By you just saying that without any explanation of how the dynamics of your relationship works, it does sound like an oppressive statement. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I guess for the unlearned, it would sound like that.
Yeah.
The thing is,
My guy said unlearn.
Unlearn.
well, no, because there is roles in the relationship.
Yeah.
Just because you're a man doesn't mean you deserve that submission.
Absolutely.
There's certain
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah, just because you're a man doesn't mean you deserve that submission. There's certain
Right.
You're not entitled to it, man.
right. There's certain prerequisites.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, for example, you have to be, the basics, provider, protector, those things, right?
Yeah, and you also have to be emotionally mature too as well.
Exactly. You have to be emotionally mature, but there's also another aspect of it. You have to be able to guide and teach your wife in terms of certain certain lessons and certain things spiritually.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? You're talking about the man. Yeah, the roles of the man, right? Like the specifics.
Yeah, like the
word.
explanation, the explanation, the meaning behind submit. So
Right.
people don't just think it's an oppression statement. No, there's more to it, right?
Right.
You were leading well into it, so just give us a little bit more.
Right. So pretty much, it's like I said. In order to be a man that's worthy of being submitted to, you have to have those characteristics. Right now, I'm drawing a blank right now.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. But you hit the points too, right? You said, first of all, you're not entitled to it just because you're a man, right? Then you said you got to protect your wife.
Right. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yes,
Okay, good.
protection, because it reminded me of that video. Remember that video of the man where he was with his daughter?
Oh,
And then the dog
came
the
out?
dog attacked.
Yeah.
And then he jumped on
And
to
left
the
the
car and
daughter
left
just
his
to-
his
yeah,
daughter.
yeah.
daughter was crying like, oh my god.
Let me tell you something. That type of spirit is not worthy of being submitted to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What kind of woman would want to submit to a man
Based
that
off of
would
instinct too,
would
right?
run and leave their daughter?
Yeah.
If he's gonna leave the daughter, he's leaving the wife for sure.
In a heartbeat.
You know what I
Leaving
mean?
everybody.
He's leaving
in
the
house.
son,
Everybody.
the baby in the stroller, everything. You understand? So that's what I wanted to bring up. You have to, in order to be worthy of submission, you have to show the true.
You just have
the
to be on
true
point.
epitome of what a man is.
Yeah. And again, right? I know a lot of women will say this. Well, all women love certain things within a man, right? So you did say a good thing about foundation, right? You need to protect, you need to provide. I think you said emotionally mature, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a big thing, right? A lot of men want a woman to submit, but don't have the characteristics to even be a man. Some people can't even, pay for their own clothes. Some people can't even pay their own bills.
Can't
Some
even
people,
wash their own drawers.
They can't even wash themselves properly, but you want women to submit to you? Like,
You're living at your mom's house.
You know what I'm
understand
saying? Like,
you can't. You're not worthy of being submitted to if you don't have your own place. You understand?
there's
what I'm
certain
saying?
things women want, and if you don't provide that, they're never gonna submit to you.
Right,
and
right,
they have
right.
to feel 100% comfortable in order for them to submit to you.
Yeah, they have to have that trust
100%.
that you can lead and be mature enough to understand that, although you're the leader, you're not necessarily the boss of her or dictating what her life should be.
So Riley, you're sitting over there a little quiet, man. Let me get your take on that, because I know you're big on the whole roles when it comes to the gender and stuff like that.
Am I? Yeah. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with what she said. I think women, for the most part, inherently want to follow a strong man. Like, your point, John, not every guy would be a person that needs to be would be considered a leader. But if you are, demonstrating those traits, you got that financial, you understand the financial system, money, things like that. You have a good job. Spiritually, you're in the right place. Emotionally, you're a person that if you guys get into a situation, you and your spouse, you both can't be emotional when trying to come up with a solution, right? So obviously your wife would be the emotional one, but you're the one that's gonna, to T's point, bring reason and just look at the facts in regards to coming up some sort of solution. So I don't see anything wrong with what she said. The women that generally probably have an issue with this probably grew up in a household where there was no father.
Right.
So they don't know. They don't even know what that even looks like or
it's
what that means. So
pretty
that's
much a
foreign to them.
subjective. Yeah, it's subjective to
they only see that their mother is the person that was leading the way. And, that's a situation where men need to step up, right? Like, why are we having so many
so what are the
so many children
roles
out of
now?
wedlock?
Hold on, before we get into the gender roles, because let me open the can of worms here. John mentioned a few things when it says these are the kind of requirements for a woman to submit to you. So let's say a man lives at home with their parents,
man. Yeah,
their mother, father, or parents, whatever the case may be.
Right.
They don't get the right to be submitted to yet, or so what I'm basically asking is, if a man does not have everything and they're missing one or two things, does the woman say, no, you can't, I cannot submit to you until you get that stuff? Or is it like, okay, I'll follow you because I see that you have those qualities, et cetera, et cetera?
Listen, a woman should not be talking to a man based off of what's potential. The man should have everything as a man, before you even approach the woman, make sure everything is in order.
Absolutely.
So no broke
Agreed.
dates?
You can't be coming on no. I'm not trying to go too in.
Go in,
yeah,
man.
bro.
Go in. Certified, man. You're
Listen,
Come
certified.
on, man.
I'm saying this, if you before you even approach a woman, make sure you have the house set up, the transportation set up, and the money set up. Because if you're dealing with a woman, you're gonna want to take her out to dinner. You're gonna first things first. You're gonna get to know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In order to get to know her, you have to take her places. You're not gonna just. Well, you could walk, go to walks in the park or whatever.
But you can't do that every time you see
Yeah,
them.
you know what I mean. You're gonna want to get something to eat. You're gonna want to,
you're gonna want to feed them.
do things, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you cannot. I would say you're doing it backwards. If you go and try to talk to a woman and you don't have your house in order, you're not ready for a woman. Even going back to the biblical principles, it says a man should leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. So what does that mean, leave father and mother? That doesn't mean you take the woman and bring them back to your mom's and pop's house. No, that means you leave them, go to your own house and bring your woman there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You create your own.
You create your own your own family
Right.
situation.
Hey, that's real words, bro. I can't argue with that,
That's
right?
facts.
No,
And
I
when you
mean,
said the same thing too, is like a woman should not fall to the game of someone that doesn't have their stuff in order.
Right, the potential. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Don't,
So-
don't talk to a man just for potential. Talk to him because he show his improves.
Okay, so basically, no Toronto rappers.
Wow.
No Toronto rappers.
Listen, if he has his mortgage, the house, and everything lined up, and there's a steady income,
Then it's good.
listen, it's
So
good to
basically,
go,
the
man.
basics, as long as the basics are set up.
Right.
Because even if he's talking about biblical times, this is back in the day, right? You're not bringing your wife and kids to your mother and father's barn or farm and then eat off their land.
Right.
You'd be surprised nowadays because
Well,
of
that's
the,
nowadays.
I'm
Yeah.
saying nowadays it's
It's backwards.
It's totally different. A lot of people, because it is so expensive out there to kind of, be on your own, which I don't get necessarily, because if you have a husband and wife, then I would think the dual income would be suffice to kind of get your own
Yeah,
spot.
but you got to get to that point.
But you have a lot of
first.
people that, they live in their parents' basement, with their kids, with their, their significant other,
Yeah.
which I don't personally understand. Listen.
I mean, it's not always just their parents, too. It could be like family members, too.
Or family members,
But
yeah.
It's based off scenario, right? So, for instance, my brother, right? He lived in my mom's basement for a minute, right, with his wife and his kids. But now he owns his own house, owns his own
That's
company,
different,
right? So
that's
it's like
different.
I understand you want to have everything in order when you're courting a woman, trying to get to know a woman, trying to find a wife. But there are going to be instances, and we're not saying don't be dating if you don't have a mortgage. We're not going to say that, right? Well, I won't say that. John has a different perspective.
Well, listen. I'm not saying you have to have mortgage. Listen, even if you have your own spot, if it's you're renting or whatever the case is, the point is to have your own spot. You know,
so let's
because
say,
there will be like I have a brethren.
Yeah,
he had his woman. She gave birth. He was living in her house, like her parents' house, right?
Oof.
And pretty much there was the parents were undermining his authority.
Right,
what I mean,
right.
Authority has the husband as the man,
You
right?
better be in this house by 12.
Yeah, like you gotta put in more work, whatever, or like just a little commentary like that.
Yeah,
and to do that to the man in front of his wife, that's belittling the man.
Yeah, it's demoralizing.
So pretty much he was just like, it got to the point where he's like, you know what, bam, I have to get my spot. The man left that same day. Couple months later, man got the spot, brought his wife and his children there.
So he manned up.
Boom, and all those problems gone.
Yeah,
you know.
So I would say this too, right? And if you have a woman or you have a man or whatever the case may be, and you see that there's more the potential that he's working towards getting those stuff, that's also a good sign too, in my opinion. So let's say he has a job and he's like, hey, everything's good and well. I'll be getting my spot within the next 3-4 months. That's something I would say to a woman. That's actually a good sign.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't have it yet, but he's aspiring to getting it and he has an action plan to get there, then that's amazing, right?
Now, is there a time frame for that, though?
Everybody's different, in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay.
Some people will wait years. Some people will wait months.
So I can tell you from my own personal experience. Listen, how old am I? 36 this year. Yeah, I know. I'm 36 this year. So I live with my parents. I used to have a spot. I used to have a condo. Sold it. The plan was to sell it, buy a next spot. For whatever reason, I got comfortable at home, right? And then
Comfortability, man.
yeah, I've been there for a couple of years now. But then I had to self-reflect, like, what am I still doing here? Like, finally, like, straight up.
But the thing is, you can get out of it.
But that's what I'm saying. So I had to self-reflect. I'm like, yo, what am I still doing here? Because financially, I'm in a pretty decent position.
Yeah.
It's not like I've never lived on my own, so there's not no fear of the unknown. I know how to pay my bills. I know how to handle a mortgage and stuff like that. And again, even getting into relationships, it's weird to be in a relationship, right? And again, to your point, John, bringing girls back to your parents' basement. I'm like, what am I? I'm still in my early 20s. Like, what am I doing?
Are you sneaking them in? Is my
yeah, for sure. I'm still sneaking them in. You know what I mean? So when I did that self-reflection, I was like, fuck this. I ended up buying a spot, right? So, but I bought a spot. It's not gonna be ready for a year or so. But yeah, I think having your own space, especially at a certain age. Now, if you're in your early 20s and whatnot, I would just focus on just building up, life experience, especially your money. Get in a career where you're financially stable, where that you can live on your own and maintain it, as opposed to living on your own, can't handle it, and then have to move back into your parents, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna move out the one time and
plan ahead.
Let that be it, So yeah, having your own spot is a huge aspect in regards to, or a huge need or trait that you're gonna have to have if you're gonna want to lead, right? No woman is really gonna respect you if you don't got your own spot.
She can't scream at night because you're gonna wake your mom up,
right? Or want to sleep over or something like that, but you can't because of whatever reasons, right?
She wants to cook in the kitchen, but
in her drawers.
Mom's out there is like, nah.
Right.
My time this.
So
my time.
So I get it. So, but yeah, well, if you do have all those traits that we're talking about, women, listen, don't be afraid to be led. Again, I think for the most part, inherently deep down, even the most strong-headed woman,
damaged.
I wouldn't even call it damaged, but a woman who's like, I'm doing my shit, I'm a boss, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even she wants to be led.
Right.
It's weird. I've seen relationships where it's the other way, where the guy is the submissive one and the woman is dictating. And I can tell you right now, a lot of times when I've seen that, I've seen those women cheat on those dudes.
Right.
With guys that are the dominant.
Yeah, basically just find someone that's a reflection of who you are as a woman, but in a male version.
What women want is an alpha male.
Yeah.
There you go.
No doubt about it. They
Right.
want an alpha male. They want a man when they come into the room.
Someone who's
they
assertive.
command respect.
Respect.
Right.
They are going to protect her. They're going to lead. They're going to make the right decisions.
And
They're
there's
going
no doubt in
they're
their
going to
mind.
confide to her, and they're going to ask for opinions.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to it, like a lot of times, women want the man to just make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear women complain all the time. It's like when guys say, "Oh, what are you doing this link? Okay,
Yeah.
what are we doing? I don't know
Be
what you want to
decide-
do."
be
No,
decide-
man,
Oh, yeah, what
pick
do you-
something.
Yeah, what do you want to
Yeah,
eat?
so
What
be
do you wanna
decisive
eat,
for
right?
them.
Yeah, like if you're going to get a date with a woman, okay, I'm gonna pick you up at 8. We're going here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do X and Y.
And you're gonna eat
dress
this.
this way appropriately, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So why do women not want to be led? Like, why do women want? I see women use king. I'm king this or whatever.
Because they're
in their
comfortable
names.
they're comfortable with their independence now.
Well,
No,
doesn't that-
no, you know what? I think they don't understand. Like I said, they don't understand the whole aspect of submission because even like with the whole Jeannie Mai more into the interview, they're talking about. She was saying how listen, she gives her opinion to her husband, and they discuss, but he has the final say. People think that when a woman submits, she's basically sitting there not saying nothing.
Yeah.
He says jump and she's jumping. You know what I
She
mean?
cooking, she cleaning.
Like
She should
No, the thing is that they, as a family they make it's like a council. She puts in her input.
Of course.
He considers it.
Yeah.
But then ultimately
He has the final.
he has the final
Yeah.
decision, and she respects it regardless of whether she was on
little
one
bit
side.
off, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's what it comes down to, right?
So, kind of to answer to your point, Duke, I think it's because a lot of times women have been forced to do both gender roles,
Right.
where they're kind of looking at submissive, like, no, if I could do all this stuff, why can't I be the leader? Or why am I going to submit to a guy that I do more of his roles than he actually does his roles,
Yeah.
right? So when it comes to gender roles, gentlemen, how do you feel about gender roles, and what do you think in your household? I'll save John for last because he has his roles probably they are working right now. But for you two gentlemen on the side, when you guys have your union, how's the gender roles going to play out?
So when you say gender roles, like cooking, cleaning, all that type of stuff.
Anything you want to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to
Okay.
gender roles.
So for me, anyways, there are gender roles. Like, listen, cleaning in the house,
Mm-hmm.
handle that. All right. Straight up.
Well, who handled that? Her?
Yeah.
Who else he talking
Not
to?
me.
He's like, yo,
Handle that. All right. You know what I
yo,
mean?
mop that floor.
Yo, straight up. Listen,
Clean that toilet.
I was raised in a house where, my mom, my sisters.
And that's another thing
When it
too.
comes
It's
to
all
cleaning.
based on what your upbringing was too. Right?
Well, that's why I said a lot of women that have issue with this whole quote unquote submissive stuff
Mm-hmm.
are generally women that haven't seen that weren't raised in a household
Mm-hmm.
with both a father as well as a mother.
Right. And we have to take into consideration. All four of us were born in the 80s, right? So
Yeah.
we've seen that example where the gender roles were played out. Whereas now,
No, sorry, I have to interject.
okay, so I guess I got to speak for myself.
Yeah, speak for yourself. 'Cause I grew up in a single parent household.
Oh, okay.
Same here.
Same here. My mom
Oh,
did.
damn! I guess I was wrong then.
Yeah, my mom did everything. She worked,
All right.
worked 2 jobs, worked 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to go on welfare. She said she'll never do that. And from that, she cleaned, she protected, she educated.
Big up mama.
So you pretty much led by example, right?
She had to do it, bro.
Mhm.
Like there's no man in the house.
Mm-hmm.
The woman has no choice but to try to do everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, am I saying she was successful in everything? No one's perfect,
Yeah.
right? Because you cannot raise a man without a man.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's impossible. Just like a man cannot raise a daughter to be a woman.
Right.
They're going to more lean to outside influences for me personally, to see what a man is, right?
Right.
And for me, my brothers were older than me. I was. So when I was 14, they were in their 20s. So I'm like, okay, this is what it is. Or 1 or 2 uncles that I seen on the basis, this is what it is. Or the man them growing up on the block,
All right.
this is what it is. And that's the type of thing that kind of skews your perception of what a man is. Now, when you grow up in a household where you have both your father and your mother,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing gender roles, you're going to look at it and be like, okay, that's how my household should be when I get married, right?
Right.
You're going to go out and work. You're going to bring home the bacon.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to cook and clean. Or she may have a job too. Moms have jobs, and sometimes, but most times, better jobs than their husbands, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, but there are certain things in a household where it's like, you know what? As a man, I'm not doing. And as a
Mhm.
woman, she probably
Right,
won't do,
right.
right? For me, if it was me, I like to cook.
So let's outline what are the gender roles today.
What are the gender roles
Because
today?
now you have more women who are more self-sufficient
So
in terms of maintaining the finance of the house and outside of the cooking and the cleaning and all that other stuff, right? So
They gotta do all that, right? So
Right.
my question is, what are men doing to bring back those gender roles? Because how can you tell a woman that's making six figures to just cook and clean all day?
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you gotta balance out. You gotta delegate the tasks accordingly, right? Because if your woman's making six figures,
Mhm.
how much are you making? You know what I mean? Are you
Yeah.
making less than her?
Let's say a woman is making more than a man. How much, like, if she's making more than her husband, how does the gender role play in that situation?
Hmm.
Like,
Sorry, say that again.
if a woman is making
I'll
more
be
than
straight
a
up
man,
with you. Listen, if a woman is making more than you, she's never really gonna respect you, man.
That's not true, Will. That's not true. That's not
Listen,
true.
I got
listen.
two opposing
That's not
opinions.
true.
Listen,
That's not true.
That's not true, Will.
Listen.
Okay, finish.
It'll be hard, but
All right,
Listen,
I want
difficult.
to hear his point. I want to hear
If
his
a
point.
woman is making more than you,
Right.
she's never gonna respect you. All right, listen, she may try to act like, everything's all prissy and good in the house, but when it comes to those tough decisions, a lot of times they're gonna go right back into, yo, listen, I'm the one paying X, Y, and Z
Okay.
bills. You can't tell me what to do in this house that I'm paying the mortgage on,
So-
or this car that I'm driving. You can't tell me where to go. You can't tell me to do this.
okay. But hold on. Are you talking about a situation where she's making more, or are you talking about a situation where she's the only one that's bringing
Yeah,
in
I was
income?
about to bring that point up.
She's making more. No, first of all, if you're a guy who's not bringing any income, you can't
say.
hold no chat.
Yeah,
You're another
yeah,
You're
you.
just a
yeah.
dick on the bed.
You're
Shut
But
up.
if you
no.
are making income,
Yeah, but if
Okay.
she's making 100 grand
And
and
you're
you're bringing
making
40 grand, you can't tell her what to do.
Why not?
Listen to
Why
me,
not?
bro. Like you said, one of the traits that you said in regards to being somebody who could lead is somebody who's could be able to provide. What are you providing? You're not providing no finance with your 30-40 grand.
Listen.
So if she's paying all the bills, she's paying the mortgage,
listen,
she's paying,
she's
hold
not
on.
paying all the
She's not
bills,
paying
though.
all. Listen,
if she's paying
listen,
majority of the bills, majority of the bills.
but that's her fault though. Why are you paying majority of it when you can split it up?
You can't afford to split it up, bruh.
Of
You're
course you
bringing
can.
30-40 grand.
Okay, but you're bringing both incomes together though. So you're
No, because
working
what
as
you're
a
doing,
unit.
what you're doing is you're turning 100 grand and 30 grand. You put them together, making
Yeah.
130 grand.
Yeah, no.
But what I'm saying is, let's
Keep
say
your
he has a
30
mortgage.
grand.
This is Toronto, so let's say your mortgage is 2,100.
Okay.
The man making 30 grand can't pay the mortgage. If
Yeah.
he pays the mortgage, all
Yeah,
his
yeah,
paycheck
yeah.
is gone.
That is
His
all
money's
he's
gone.
paying.
Yeah.
So then,
So
I
down
understand.
payment
I
is gone.
understand where he's coming
Is
from.
is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. Will there be the certain cases where she's cool with her man leading and he's only making a fraction of what she's making?
There's some women that-
there will be
yeah.
some, but the majority of women nowadays,
You're
and
saying-
I can't.
So
no
you're saying
qualms about it.
whatsoever? It doesn't matter if you're making whatever you're making, as long as it's not more than what she's making.
If it's not relatively
gonna respect you.
close, if it's not relatively like if she's making 100 grand, you're making 90 grand. I mean, like
Yeah, that's
it's like it's whatever.
You're
It's
making the same,
apples and oranges,
basically.
right?
Mhm.
But if it's a big significance in regards to her making X amount more, where a lot of cases it is. I've seen it firsthand where
Mhm.
the woman is the one who's actually making a lot more than her man, and I've seen where
And that's mostly with black women because with white women and white men, the financial gap is
it's different. It's
far
flipped.
apart. Whereas
Yeah,
for
yeah.
black women and black men, women are in the lead. Pretty much.
Correct. Yeah,
100%.
Exactly. So, and again, maybe that's one of the reasons why black women, anyways, find it hard for black men to lead because financially they're
Like,
not
where
in the
you going with
position
your
where they
little
need to
$2?
man, get your money up.
be. Right? Straight.
Can't
You
provide with
get
no
your
money.
money up, man.
Straight up.
Get your money up. Like that's
Right.
That'd probably be a good conversation. Be talking about money and stuff like that,
We
right?
can talk about that.
Definitely.
well, I just want to touch on that
Yeah.
because it's true. All right, it would be hard for a woman to submit to a man that's making less than her, right?
Mhm.
But it all boils down to like principles. If she really believes, like if it's a core principle of her where she recognizes that the woman's supposed to submit to the man, regardless of how much the man's making, like if he's making 40,000 and she's making 100,000, whatever the case is, even though it might be an internal struggle for her in terms of like, yo, I make more money than this nigga. Why you tell me anything? She'll come back and recognize, okay, you know what? I'm stepping out of line of what we established as what this marriage is about. So I mean, as long as they have that principle behind them.
And as I hold this mic, pause. Good luck finding a woman like that, because there's no way in hell nowadays you're gonna find a woman that is gonna go through that internal struggle.
No,
See,
are you
there's
saying
women,
what?
there's women out there like that, bro?
Can I say
There's
something?
women out there
Yeah.
like that, man.
I'm not shading Toronto women, but I think Toronto women are raised differently
Mhm.
compared to women outside of Toronto. Like,
Now, when you say Toronto women, are you talking about black women or? Like,
oh yeah, I
this
only
raw
have
black
experience.
women,
I only
you
have
know?
experience with black women, so I
So-
really can't speak on another race.
Okay, so it is Jeannie Mai thing, something in regards to like race?
Yeah,
Like-
so that's what I'm kind of leading into, right?
Okay.
So, but before we get into the race aspect, I'm just talking about outside of Toronto,
Mhm.
aka the old term Screwface Capital. The women outside of Toronto have a different mindset when it comes to getting into a relationship. I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying a lot of women,
Mhm.
or a lot of
Significant amount of them, yeah.
around. Some of them don't really care how much money you make as long as you're doing the things that they actually like.
Yeah, the necessary things. Like,
Do they feel protected around you, right? Are you communicating with them, right? Are you treating them with respect,
mhm.
right? Because if you're making, let's say you're making 50 grand and she makes 100 grand,
Mhm.
but you're doing everything else as a man is supposed to do, she will probably, women
you're
outside
saying
of
this is
Toronto
a
will
t-
submit to that.
Oh, you're saying women outside of Toronto?
What do you
are
mean
I
like-
can't
outside
say.
Toronto?
I'll say. I
Like-
can't really say outside of Toronto. I was just saying, like my experience, women that are outside of Toronto, either be a different
Yeah.
country or from
Oh,
the East
okay.
Coast or the
Yeah,
place may
yeah,
be,
yeah, yeah.
they don't really look at money as the
The decide
And
to
all
decide.
deciding
be all.
factor if I should submit to you. Where a lot of times when I speak to women in Toronto, and I'm not talking about just dating them, but just having conversations with them, the first thing that comes out their mouth is, "Does he have a car? Does he
What
drive?
kind of car?
What type of what type of car does he drive? What do you do for a living? You know, you can't tell me nothing. I got a business. I finished school." It's like, okay, but if that's the only thing you're looking at, then it seems like your relationship's going to be based off of monetary. And then anytime you hit a hard struggle where he loses his job or you lose your job, then what's going to happen? Is it built off of money alone? And that's how I'm not a materialistic person.
Mhm.
Like, I don't really care if she makes 100 grand, 200 grand, $30,000,
Mhm.
$30,000 a year. If she fits right with me, we can change that as a couple,
Mhm.
right? I can help her get a job. I could help her educate. I could just, give her guidance,
Right.
solutions to her problems to make more money.
Mhm.
And any girl that I talk to needs to have inspiration to do so, right? I'm not going to talk to someone that's
Yeah,
like,
they
no,
have to be.
fuck that. I
Yeah,
work
they
at
have to be
Burger King and
motivated,
that's it.
basically, self-motivated.
Exactly, right? But just to go back to what Riley was talking about with Jeannie Mai, or Jeannie Mai, whatever her name is, do you think it's because of her background, her religion, her racial, why she's saying that?
I think that plays a factor. I think for the most part, again, when we talk about dating in the black community and gender roles and things like that, even like you were saying earlier, you were raised up in a household where you only seen one side,
Yeah.
right? And then you had to learn from other experience in regards to
Drug dealers and pimps.
you had to learn through other experiences and through other men outside of your family to kind of figure out,
What's my role
what
as a
makes
man.
my role as a man, right?
Yeah.
Where these, other cultures, other races, whatever.
It's
whatever you
already
wanna
set
say.
up for them.
It's already set up. Majority of them are growing up in two-parent households where,
Mhm.
especially if you're talking about Canada, a lot of the people our age are first generation Canadians.
Mhm.
So the people from other races coming from, let's say, Asia or
South-
Africa or
South Asia.
South America, South Asia, their way of lifestyle in those type of regions is where, for sure, 100% that I've seen, and I traveled quite a bit.
Mhm.
The man is the leader. Like, I've seen it firsthand. The man is the one who's making the decision. The gender roles are clearly defined. You know what I mean? Like, the woman is cleaning, cooking in the house. The husband is
Mhm.
taking care of the house in regards to anything that needs to be fixed,
Right.
bringing in the quote unquote bacon,
Yep.
being the protector, things like
Mhm.
that. The woman is the one who's the nurturer, who really take care of raising the kids, right? So
Who's there for emotional support, I guess.
exactly there for the emotional side. So the gender roles are clearly defined in those parts of the world, and those are traits that kids our age, people our age,
Mhm.
they kind of learn from
Mhm.
in those other cultures.
Okay.
So it's easier for them to quote unquote submit. It doesn't look, it's not a negative.
It's not a foreign concept. for them.
Exactly. It's not a
Yeah.
foreign concept. It's nothing negative with regards to that.
Something they're
It's
conditioned
just a way
to
of
from
exactly.
birth.
So why is it so different for black people
again,
because the family structure had been broken up from way before. So that plays a significant role in that.
Yeah.
What do we mean by broken up before you talking about
When there's no
slavery?
man in the household, it could stem from that. It can also stem from, what's that term? I forgot now.
Read your notes, nigga. Read your notes.
You got fucking
Are you talking
10 pages of
about,
that,
are you talking about Willie Lynch? You know about Willie
With
Lynch?
that too. It's the I can't even remember the term now. Oh my god, help me out here.
You're talking about when they broke up the family household welfare and prison.
Yeah,
and
that. So
incarceration
all
of
that.
black men.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, the incarceration of black men.
Right.
Okay.
Because when you have no black men in the household, whoever's in the house, if it's only just a woman.
She has to take on both roles. Huh?
Exactly.
She's gonna survive, and I tell you this.
Now, I'm not just saying that it's just all that, but that also plays a significant role in a lot of us not understanding what our role is to be a leader in the household.
Right.
Like for myself, even when I date, I try to find women that were raised in a 2-parent household, because I've been in situations where I would date women that were just raised by their mother, and there's always some contention. It was always an argument about something that shouldn't have been an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Where when I dated women that had both parents, it was such a much smoother relationship. You know what I mean? Like there was no arguments over little things on who's gonna do X, Y, and
petty
Z.
stuff. Yeah,
Over petty stuff, right? Like there was no battle in regards to who's gonna be leading this household or this relationship. So yeah, you definitely need a father figure in the house in order for you to, and I can't blame women.
More so in this generation too, because a lot of women feel like they don't need a man. So
yeah, and trust me, you do, women.
I think it's true. It's true what you said to an extent. I think certain women that were brought up by their mothers only and that didn't have the father figure in their life, I think if they're they're programmable, like they're willing to learn, you could show them the way in terms of this is how, you can correct them. And if they're willing to listen and learn, you can work with them. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't cut them all off and say, Mom, if you didn't have a father in your house, you'll run away from everything.
No, not run away from everything.
Yeah,
But that's kind of almost similar to the woman picking a man who doesn't have a house yet but is working towards it. Don't just dash them away so quick.
Listen.
I mean, it's up to you. I guess it's up to the guy. Yeah, for me, you want to erase as many variables as possible. So, like, if everybody has like their quote unquote somewhat checklist, right? In regards to what they're looking for. So I try to look for a certain type of thing. Again, is it an automatic disqualification if you weren't raised in a 2-parent household? Absolutely not. But what I would prefer, yeah, exactly. There's warning signs from the past. So what I would prefer, it's a red flag. Exactly. But,
so that's probably another big discussion we should have in the future when it comes to like what are your qualifications, right? Because I know a lot of people, they don't talk to people that have kids, people that don't have a certain type of pay, and other stuff. But to the lines where you're talking about Jeannie Mai or Jeannie Mai,
we gotta get her name right.
Yeah, sorry if you ever
we've been butchering her name.
Jeannie M. So let me ask you,
Jeezy's girl,
Jeezy's wife or fiance. Let me ask you, you dated outside your race, right?
Yeah, a couple times.
So clearly it's you are okay with interracial dating.
At the time, yeah.
At the time, things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed because for me it was like an identity thing at the time where. And this is in my early 20s where I started really dating, and I didn't really have a concept of an identity at the time, whereas as a black man, like, what am I supposed to be for a woman, right? And at the time, too, I wasn't really confident. So that allowed me to, I guess, rationalize being with non-black women. So for me, it was just an identity thing where I experienced dating, women that were not of my community, and I realized through those experiences that for me it's a connection thing. And because I wasn't able to connect with these women now, it's just that over time I had to build my confidence too as well. So that pretty much helped me understand, okay, this is why I'm more drawn to black women in this sense, because for me, I don't want to be with someone where I'm raising a child and that child's going to feel indifferent because of in-laws feel indifferent to them. So for me, that kind of, because my last relationship, not to put her on blast, I kind of had that issue where the parents didn't really like the fact that their daughter was dating a black man.
It was a big culture shift.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, I'm at a point now in my life where I know what I want now. And I felt like being with non-black women at the time, I had to change who I was and wanted to be. So I went through those experiences to realize, because for me, it was never like, okay, black women are this and black women are that, so that's why I can't date them. It was never that. I've always been drawn to black women. It's just that at the time, I didn't know why I was not connecting with them. So I try to, get my little experience elsewhere. And I came to the point where it's like, okay, well, for me, it's all about family for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just personally don't want to raise a child where I feel like I have to explain to my significant other about black culture and our community. Not to say that that's always going to be the case with whoever you're dating, but I don't want it to be a situation where my child is going to come to me and be like, how come Uncle so-and-so or Auntie so-and-so? Right. Well, you know what I'm saying. So for me, that kind of pulled, I just discovered through those experiences why I'm not against interracial relationships. It's just for me personally, because I went through that experience, I just rather not deal with it.
Yeah, that makes total sense, man. It sounded to me in the beginning that you said it's more of a confidence thing.
You saying you're scared of the black things?
No, well,
you're intimidated.
Because at the time, as I said, I didn't have a concept of identity at the time.
So hold on, wait. Were you like scared of them because of the whole notion that black women are loud and they
aggressive?
fight?
No, I don't think he said he's scared of them.
No. I'm
scared.
saying when he had to build, when he wasn't confident enough. I'm trying to figure out, was it based off of that or was it based off the
like
fact
why was
that
he confident enough for these other things but not the black thing?
Because I felt like the black women that I liked before were more aggressive.
So you weren't prepared for that.
I wasn't prepared
Drape you up, eh?
Because
hold you down, choke you
I
up.
ain't gonna lie. Back then, I wasn't really confident.
Okay,
I'm the complete opposite now. And the reason why I wasn't confident because remember I didn't have a concept of identity at the time, right? So now I do. So now when I was experiencing these interracial relationships, I felt like I had to change who I wanted to be.
True, what? And and actually it really ties, everything you said ties back to the main topic, which is submission.
Right.
I believe
black
that
women submit to that.
No, but
no confidence.
No, but I'm saying
that's
what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's how I discovered it.
But the thing is, if you understood at the time that hold on, I'm supposed to be the man. Woman's supposed to submit to me.
Right.
Here's the qualities of a man. That confidence issue would have been dead.
Right.
Because you would have understood that
from day one. Right.
From day one, you're supposed to lead. So.
No, 100%. That's facts right there. The confidence is definitely needed in a man to lead in any relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let me ask you, Riley, what's your take on interracial dating?
Listen, I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Man's like me, been dating outside of my race.
It's from time,
bro. You know me, like we used to say, bro, Godzilla in these streets with these Asian things. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
But no, seriously though.
So that's how you found the Jeannie M video.
No, but no, I have no. Listen, man, I have no issue with you dating outside of your race, as long as you're not a person who's quote unquote like I don't want to say selling out in regards to like losing your black identity all of a sudden now that because you're dating somebody. I have no issue with it. I've dated outside of my race. It was fun. I dated Asian things, Spanish things. You know what I mean?
Okay, you said you're talking about dating. Would you marry?
I would marry. Yeah.
Current state or back then?
Both. Current.
Yeah,
I would still marry a Spanish thing or Asian thing. But I do understand what you're saying with regards to black women. Obviously, there's that familiarity in regards to how we were raised, especially if we're all grew up from Caribbean households.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. If you find somebody else that is a woman that's Caribbean, you're gonna have a lot more things that you're able to relate to.
Yeah, I mean, common.
So that would be ideal. But listen, am I gonna be out here just kind of like
looking for that?
Not necessarily just looking for that, but dismissing everything else.
Yeah.
And no, because what if I'm trying to find these Caribbean things, and they're just giving me bare attitude, right? And don't know how to quote unquote submit.
Listen, let me show you something, yo.
First of all, don't show me.
Let me show you something.
Yeah. Lower your tone, bro. Let me show you something.
Let me wake you up from that slumber you're going through, brother.
Somebody gonna hit me something.
verbal
Nah,
reprimanding.
all right, wake me up.
Give him a
I'm
sermon,
just saying,
then.
Bridget.
All right.
Yo, when it comes to horses, wild horses,
Oh God. All right.
Bridget,
Oh,
when you
Jesus
jump on the
Christ.
wild horse, the thing's gonna be wild and
Mhm.
bucking at first, yo.
All right.
But it takes a real rider to tame that
Right.
horse.
Listen.
So yo, you're gonna run into the things that are wild out on the road, yo.
Right.
Are
Listen
you
to
are
me.
you are you
Yeah.
strong enough to tame it?
Listen to me, bro. Listen to me. I'm all about a person in regards to, like I said earlier, eliminating variables. I'm not going through my life stressing about taming no wild horse, bro. All right.
So
Listen,
you want to take the road that's least bumpy.
yeah. Like
Hey,
I'm
listen,
not.
most
going,
wild horses end up being the best horses. B. How you
well,
mean? I like.
have fun with that. I will not. I'm not going
Yeah.
to that, bro. Listen, you better come ready made if we're gonna be in a relationship. All right. I'm not gonna be out here going through stresses, arguments, cops being called on me because of X, Y, and
No,
Z.
I'm
You know?
not saying go that far.
But
B. I'm not
that's
saying
how
go that far.
that's how it is. And then let's say you get
In your experience,
yeah, and then let's say you get
I
her
never had a girl
pregnant.
call police on me before.
All right, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, listen. So for me, again, this is just my
So
own.
wait, so you're saying the Asian things won't call no police on you?
Unless I
Yet.
physically hurt her. You know what I mean? Like,
But
You
any
don't know
woman
that.
would.
You don't know that, bro. You don't
What's
know
he
that
trying to say?
guy.
A black woman will call the police on you because he didn't physically hurt her? Like,
I had a black thing call police on me over an argument. I didn't hit her. I didn't do nothing.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
so
yo, bro.
you're a man scorn. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
Makes
So-
sense, context.
So again, I'm only going off personal experience,
Yeah.
right? I've had great relationships with black women. Still do have great relationships with black women. Again, ideally, preferably, I would want somebody that is, quote unquote Jamaican or whatever, Jamaican descent.
Quote, unquote.
You know,
But
I
you
want
sound,
my
but you
oxtail
sound
on
like
a
you don't
Sunday.
really care about race, though.
Again, I'm not eliminating anything. You know what I mean?
He is
So
open.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be somebody who's there. I'm not even gonna talk to this thing because of X, Y, and Z.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know
I
what I
see what
mean?
you're saying.
So-
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For me, honestly, I'm not against interracial dating, but I prefer black women. I think growing up, the majority of the women, 99% of the women that I've talked to were black, especially in my
later years, for
yeah,
sure.
my later
for
years,
sure.
it's all been about black women. We connect better. I understand them; they understand me. We work better, and like you said, right? If you get into a relationship, things just move smoothly.
Right.
We do certain things like we understand the cooking.
They understand the
methods,
jokes.
We understand the cleaning. We understand the jokes.
Mhm,
If
for
shit
sure.
happens in the media where we're being attacked, we're both upset, and for the right reasons. We're not supporting. We're out here to survive and thrive. So it's like, to me, it's more of a connection of one and two put together, right? So it's
Right.
like, I think in my life, I know in my life that's what I need, not want what I need, right? And want, but need is the bare bones. But let's end it off with John on the tech side. Well, you have
Before
something
we
to
end
say?
it off, man. Going a quick rant for these young boys. Listen, man.
You sure? Well, you want to finish up with John, then give him the rant at the end?
Yeah.
All right,
John.
all
Yeah,
right.
you
You might
guys
guys want to
do it.
jump on it, but keep going. Yeah.
Then we will jump on that shit.
All right.
So what?
Your take on interracial?
Oh, my take on. Listen, I think black man should deal with black women. Yo. Period. Yo. That's it. Yo.
Yep.
There's no further need to elaborate.
Is it no long talking?
No long.
No long
I'm not with it. You know? So
No, that's facts, man. And anybody that thinks that way, I 100% support it, because I think, the more we have black couples out there that are thriving, loving, and showing it to the world, the more our kids will see it and then grow up. Because when we grew up, in my personal opinion, in my personal life, growing up in the projects, it was nothing but single black moms,
right.
no
right.
black dads,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the people that we grew up watching as the men were the older sons of single parent households.
Right.
And their concept of relationship was, yo, how many bitches can I get? How much pussy can I fuck?
Right.
You know,
right.
How much? What's my body count looking like? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it is really disrespecting black women, right? And so when you grow up that as a young person, you're looking at it, you're like, whoa,
You don't really
this is
see
what a
any
man's
value.
supposed to be?
Yeah.
Right.
So me growing up in a household where there's no father, I had to learn to become a man without a father,
Right.
right? Which is like learning something without a teacher.
You know,
The road is a lot harder and a lot longer.
listen, a real man would take his a real black man would take his black woman and marry them. I'm not gonna treat my black women like whores. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna take my
What if
woman.
they want to be treated like a whore?
Listen, the women them that want to be the whores, listen, you can't turn a dog into a, you know what I mean? I'm not no disrespect, but you know, whatever the nature of
If she's going through a hose phase, don't save her.
Right. You know what I mean? You can't. There's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if the woman has good intentions and you dog the woman out, that's evil.
You're
creating this generation of a generation of wickedness, right? So bottom line is this: as a black man, to show your solidarity, your love to black people, marry the black woman that you're with.
And the daps goes to John on the tech side because that's some big words right there. I ain't gonna lie. Lean, you had some words for us, right? Real quick.
So
Riley's rants.
Riley's rants right here.
It was more we're just talking about the whole gender roles and submissive and everything, and just tying it back to, I think a lot of guys need to realize, and I think we've all been taught. I want to say we've all been taught. I haven't been taught this, but I think a lot of men have been taught that women are the prize, right? Like, in this world, the prize is the women to get. When in reality, when you look at the statistics of women in regards to how many women there are in the world, in regards to how many men need to realize, like, you guys are the ultimate prize, okay? You gotta realize
Riley's toxic rant.
Listen, no. But straight up, you gotta realize. Listen, man. At the end of the day, as a man, when we get older, we get more what? What are some of the words that we hear?
We get wiser. We get more distinguished. We get more mature.
Right.
We get more established.
Right,
Yeah.
more established. Right. When a woman gets older, what are some of the phrases that you?
Be careful now. Be careful now.
I ain't saying
Be
shit.
careful
I ain't
about
saying shit.
Saying
You guys, I answered the first part.
This is Riley's rant.
So we're not talking truthful.
No, we're talking truthful, but I gave my part.
this
I
is
want
your
to
I
hear.
want to hear. So you said that. I want to hear
Okay,
when you guys hear when a woman gets a certain age, getting
Yeah, okay,
older,
okay.
single.
They
the
get
eggs-
bitter.
the
They
egg-
get anxious.
Sorry?
The eggs dry up.
The eggs dry up. And
they get
bitter, cat lady.
Cat, yeah.
All of
Yeah.
those type of things. So men need to realize.
Cougar.
Saying that, you know what it is? Men age like wine, women age like produce. Right?
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
but
No,
no,
Fucking
that's
celery.
but back to
Hey, that's the statement I heard. I'm just.
But yo,
repeating
honestly,
that.
back to again when we talk about other cultures, other parts of the world, that's how it is. It's not necessarily the woman is the actual prize in regards to the relationship. It's actually the man, and that's why a lot of these women in these other countries and whatnot, they do so much to cater to their man because they understand, first of all, the social stigma in regards to if you're a woman at a certain age,
Yeah.
you're in your mid to late 30s, 40s, single, no kids. Come on, man. Your options are becoming very, very limited. As opposed to a man, like you said, you get to your late 30s, even early 40s. You never been married, but you have no kid, and you have no kids. But if you're in a situation where you're, established, you got your own crib, you got your own career, you got your nice car.
Yeah. You're still seen as a prize.
You're still seen as a prize. And in
Okay.
regards to your options, you could get a girl or a woman your age. You could get a woman younger than you. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
guys that are 40, 41 years old,
Right.
dating 25, 27-year-olds, right? If that's your preference. Because again, women, for the most part, when they're looking for a man, is looking for somebody that they can learn from, somebody who is a provider or protector and things like that.
Okay.
So again, men out there, understand your worth is all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You don't have to be out here chasing no things, bro. Trust me. These things in a couple more years are going to be calling you down because when they realize that, 37, 35, 38, 43 years old, they're not looking the way that they used to look. Bruddy, it's hard out there.
Okay, one thing you were saying about kids, right? And one thing with men, we want to have our legacy, right?
Right.
How can you have a legacy without a woman?
What are you talking about? When did I ever say you don't have to have a woman?
I'm just saying, you're saying that women are not necessarily the prize, right?
No, yeah.
And if you care about your legacy,
Yeah.
which is your children, how can you have that without the woman being the prize?
What I'm saying is that you don't have to put up with bullshit of a woman because you may think that there's no other woman out there. Trust me. So you could leave that alone. You could be 40 plus years old, and I could go find a 30-year-old woman. There's so many other women out there that
so,
you could.
So you're basically saying that you start a foundation with a woman, you get to whatever age, and then let's say she sours down. You're saying just abandon the woman?
No.
What
he's
am I speaking French or Mandarin?
What he's saying is
The fuck?
a man does not a man could hold more value in the dating relationship market longer than a woman can.
Okay.
Right? So if you are a 47-year-old man, you have a couple of businesses, you have, a couple of property and some investments, you're well established.
Oh, okay. I see what
30-year-old, late 20-year-old women will still want to holler at you, and you have the ability to.
You got to look good too, though. You can't just be, you can't
but if you have your shit together, you don't have to.
I'm not saying,
yeah. Like if you have your,
it's no longer a requirement.
If you have your shit together,
right?
Looks really doesn't matter that much, unless you're really fucking disgusting looking, like, hey, you guys from the Goonies, right? Yeah, right. But if you have your shit together. You're a 47-year-old man. Listen, you're in your you're like a middle-aged. You're middle-aged. You're middle-aged. Creeping towards retirement. You could still pull something that is 27, 31, 32, whatever the case may be. Right. Because why? They're going to look at you like, oh wow, he's established. He can provide. He can protect.
Right.
Yada yada
it's
yada.
It's a status thing then.
Now, when you look at someone, and I'm not dissing women or anything like that, but it's just the reality of how we look at it, and it's in the animal kingdom and in all cultures. You're a 47-year-old woman. You have no kids. You have no. Even if you have you don't
even have to be that old, and you could have kids.
I'm just using comparison to the same age.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you're 47. You have no kids. You have a career and everything. I don't think a 27-year-old that wants to have a family is gonna come and say, "Let me wife you."
Right.
It's more like, okay, this Kruger wants a piece of meat. I'm gonna give her the meat, and then I'm gone. But I'm not trying to start a serious relationship with you, right?
And even if you want to start a serious relationship, like giving birth at such a high age,
it's high risk.
There's high risk in terms of deformities and whatnot, right?
Sure,
so you're not a prime candidate for a family man.
Oh, let me put this way. Just a bridge off that, but off topic. Men that are waiting till they're really old to have kids, are some studies that are coming out that the older the man is, there's defects in their sperm. So don't be blaming the women all the time that, oh man, this high risk because no, sometimes it's because of your fucking retarded ass sperm.
Old dusty sperm?
Your old dusty ass sperm.
And at what age does this?
It depends on your health, but as you age,
39.
your sperm actually gets weaker. 39. I'm like, God damn, nigga. Shit. But yeah, I'm just saying. But all right, man. Honestly, that was a good conversation. What you guys feel about it? You still gonna be dating your Asian women next year?
Like I said, I'm keeping my options
open.
Right? Options open.
Okay, Duke.
Yeah, it's black for me.
We can't ask John that before his wife will cut him up when he gets home. But
black women all day, Bridget.
Yeah, to me, man, black women. But honestly, when we use certain words like submit or submissive, we're not being disrespectful. We're not talking about we need a slave.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a word that is used that when it comes to the hierarchy, because honestly, I don't want to be fighting with my wife for certain decisions in the household. That just disrupts peace in my household, and especially in my head. I love and I protect my peace at all costs, and I don't want arguments, right? If it's just a simple situation where I say, hey, you know what, we're going to do this, don't fight me on it unless it's like really something that I'm really messing up on, right? I don't want to say it, but play the part.
Hold on. I know we're supposed to jump off, but listen, we're in our late 30s here. I know. Tech man's holding up time. But we're in our late 30s here. I know you guys are saying that you guys want to find a black thing. Mm-hmm. At what point, because like you just said earlier, retarded sperm.
What point we say?
We say like, all right, maybe I got to open up my, just a quick.
I'll leave it in God's hand.
All right, nigga.
God's hands?
You don't read the Bible. Get out of here. God ain't listening to you.
Ready? Fuck that. Put it this way, I'm old, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm close to 40. Real soon.
Nigga, next.
Stop baiting out my seed, bro. I could have been 37.
You're close enough, man. You're close enough.
In less than a year, I'm turning 40 years old, right? And I'm still committed to black women, but don't think I'm going to be waiting until I'm 50, 45 to find the right black woman. If another race comes by and fits everything but this racial aspect, if I'm getting too old, I'm not going to be stubborn and be like, fuck it. I'm gonna be committed to the black woman, and then people are gonna be like, "Dog, you're 63 years old, and is something wrong with you?"
No. But if you're 63 years old and you still haven't found a black woman,
Is it me?
Is it? I don't think
Is
it's
it
the
the
black
problem?
women.
It's
That's
me is the
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
That's
Like,
true. That's true.
That's where I know for a fact is if I'm talking to somebody and they have all the right qualities at this age, it's not, oh, I want to try to smash it as I was when I was in my 20s. It's more, okay, what is the next step with me and her?
Like, what do I see myself?
Can I see myself with
Yeah.
her in a serious relationship? Does she have the qualities that I want, right? And qualities has to go with submission actually fits in those qualities. And again, to the women that are listening to it, we're not saying get on your hands and knees, rub my feet, cook my meals, wash the dishes, wipe my ass, none of that. It's just people say 50-50 where I say, no, it's more 60-40 because there has to be someone in the relationship that has the veto vote. And the veto vote is basically if you guys can't come to agreement, it's like, okay, listen, we're doing this. Even if it's my decision or it's your decision, I make the last decision. And as the man, if you're leading and you're providing, protecting, you're hopefully that they make the right decisions. And you have to trust your man to make the right decisions. Or you shouldn't be with that man if he's not making the right decisions.
Right.
But you know what?
And yeah, FYI, I'm in a relationship with a black thing, so kind of throw me out here like coon locker.
So all that just to say that.
Here we go. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to another Certified Vets podcast. I'm your man T. We got
Riley,
Duke De Niro,
And John the Tech Man.
all right, and you guys can also follow us on the social media handles.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple iTunes. What else we got, guys? Instagram. And all you have to do is type in Certified Vets Podcast.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Subscribe, follow, like, comment, and we'll definitely engage with you. We're out. Have a good day.